And we're really just going to go from one hurdle to another, right? We got the international monkey off our back, and now all of a sudden it's FlyQuest of all teams. Here we go.
These beautiful things that I've
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Rendezvous, your source for everything 100 Thieves, League of Legends, around the org, and some more. Look, coming into this past weekend, I was exuding confidence, I think as you should, given that we were the heavy favorites going into the series, but obviously given how Worlds went last year, there was an aura of potential caution that we needed to have. Now, luckily, we held our own. Were things a little bit iffy at points in the first 15 minutes of Game 1? Yeah, sure, not going to deny that, but we brought it around. And that's all that matters. If you want to see my reaction to the series as a whole, it is available on YouTube. Honestly, I don't really think you missed much other than the team need to turn it on a little bit. Sniper still having some of the same woes that he's had throughout the entire year. Disrespecting a level 1 against Avaris, which was a little odd, or like a level 2, I think. And FBI going under the radar. Like, I just want to sing his praises again because, man, like, since he's come in, our bot lane's just been stable. Like, we haven't had any games where you look at him and be like, he hasn't been able to put out damage or do anything. It's just been solid all the way through. But I did get to attend the 100 Thieves press scrum, which included Quid, Golden Glue, and who else? It was Sniper. Sniper was there. And I'll put some of the highlights here. The whole thing is available on several different other channels on YouTube, so I'll just highlight some of the big questions here rather than making you sit through the entire thing. But the question at the end is the one that I want you to really focus on.
I remember when I got solo killed by Tiran, I think is what his name is. The entire crowd was just like I couldn't even hear my teammates, you know? It was like even crazier than when we played in front of I think like 3,000 people. So like the fans in the crowd here, like they have so much testosterone, you know? They're like it's very exciting to play.
That puts us to
against,
shame
but
if it was
definitely
louder than
distracting at
LTA
times. But I tried to
finals
stay calm.
or LCS finals in summer.
I was pretty surprised because like I thought they were gonna cheering their team, but they're like boo to us. So it feels a bit bad, but it's understandable. And if I was Brazilian player, I would like that.
How did today compare to a normal day of LCS from the start of the today through the series?
Yeah, I think the biggest difference was definitely for me the crowd. I think also like a lot of things are like slightly different where we're used to having like the certain foods and whatever like what we're normally like used to before our meal. So we kind of had to change our setup. Also, we usually like to like have a speaker and like stretch and kind of like warm up, but we didn't do that here. So it was a pretty different day for us, I would say.
Yeah, same with Grayson. I feel like it was honestly just the crowd for me, and yeah, it was just the crowd. They're like so much louder than the LCS one or LTA North. Sorry, and yeah, crowd's the only thing.
This was my question, by the way. I just couldn't understand he was pronouncing my name.
Yeah, biggest thing is crowd, but yeah, they have really high energy as a fan, and
we have scrimmed a lot. When we landed, I think we landed at like 6 a.m. and we slept for like 6 hours, and then we scrimmed the same day that we landed. So we've been working really hard while we're here, but I think honestly our conditions pretty bad. I think people have gotten really jet lagged and are still, like not feeling 100% healthy, I think. So I think hopefully this week, having a week to kind of adjust more and just rest should be good for us.
Yeah, I've been sleeping like 2 hours ever since I got here. So it's just been like,
Christ,
I don't know, my eyes are just like always red every single day because of the sleep I'm getting. So yeah, hopefully I can catch up on sleep tonight since tomorrow's the off day, right? And then yeah, I'll be ready to go for next week.
The jet lag question started a pretty big kerfuffle, at least in my opinion. Now, this might be something that you don't think of as a viewer potentially, or maybe even players don't think of necessarily, but maybe it's because I grew up in traditional sports. I went to collegiate golf camps whenever I was in like middle school, high school time. So the importance of like a healthy diet, of doing things outside of the game to prep yourself to be the most ready you can be on the golf course was always paramount. And it's actually something that I like teach the kids that I have for our junior program up in Queens. Is like, hey, like you need to be ready when you come into class to give it your all, whether that's like you need to make sure you're eating, getting enough sleep, whatever. Like you want to make sure mentally you are like fully there as well. And jet lag is a massive portion of this for those that have not traveled to international events or traveled at all. Like even going different time zones here in America alone, like can be enough to like really throw you off and throw your body out of sync, and then you just don't feel it on the course or don't feel it on the rift or whatever it might be. Like it is important to prep yourself. And for 100 Thieves, there really was no excuse to be dealing with jet lag, if we're being honest. We've had 2 weeks knowing that we were going to Brazil, knowing what the times were going to be whenever you go to Sao Paulo and the adjustment that it would need to be. You do have a responsibility as a player and for the coaching staff as well to make sure that they're enforcing this, to make sure that you are prepped and ready to go so jet lag does not ruin what is going to be a very quick turnaround between the time you get there to the time you have to start scrimming and practicing. If you can make small adjustments before you go, that is incredibly important to do. Now, I had people come in my DMs who were like former coaches being like, it's the player's responsibility to play, the coach's responsibility to coach. It's like, yeah, but somebody has to teach this. And when we don't have the budget for performance coaches, dietitians, stuff like that, like somebody has to be that reminder. And that does fall on Golden Glue and Spooks' shoulders of like, hey, you need to be on these guys' ass if you know that like they're degenerates with their sleep schedule and issues like that. Like you need to be on them for a week prior to leaving saying, hey, are you getting ready to travel? That includes getting your diet ready, getting your sleep schedule right, because we don't want you running on 2 hours of sleep the entire time that you're there, like Sniper said he is. That's a problem. Like that is a big issue. And as we hopefully get better and as 100 Thieves continues to grow and develop, and hopefully we go to Worlds and other international tournaments like this year is going to be in China, you are going to have a massive adjustment. And yes, you'll have a few more weeks in theory to do so, but you have to be ready for it. So I want to see going forward, like this should never happen again, hopefully. I do not want to see anybody show up to international events like jet lagged and just not in their right mind, because what happens when we play a team that is much better than Brazil? In this situation, say we had to play FlyQuest in the first round, we get our shit clapped. Like in our current form that we just played this past weekend, we get rocked by FlyQuest. So I don't care who it has to be, somebody from inside of the org needs to step up as like a player manager, like a coach, whatever it might be, to make sure that when we travel and even beyond that, like just in general, that these things are kept in mind, because what you do outside of the game is just as important as a player as the things that you do in the game. I know not everybody was athletes. I know Golden Glue did play football, so I'm sure he knows this for a fact, but it's just like, it's one of those things that maybe you just take for granted as coach. You don't like push it as hard and how important it is, but it's just something that I want to see from the team going forward. I don't ever want to see another interview where stuff like this comes up unless like, you know, somebody's sick, extenuating circumstances happen, fine. But thank God we got through this week without issues. Really nothing to note around the org this week. Kind of quiet. There was a thread on Reddit that I saw of somebody asking like, why can't we get more 100 Thieves esports teams? It's like, how about we worry about not losing one of the ones that we have right now and put every effort in to it there. Speaking of that, I do want to touch on the content front because I warned about this last week. Now, granted, I'm recording this on Monday and this could age horribly by the time this video gets posted on Wednesday, because I'm going to edit and upload it right after I get done recording here. I feel like we are slipping from the conversation in Brazil. FlyQuest has kind of re-surmounted themselves as the #1 team from North America, despite like us pulling off the upset over TL and beating Cloud9. Like FlyQuest still has that reputation. Everybody's picking them and favoriting them. We are falling out of the conversation because we are not posting content when we're in Brazil. And like it's starting already to like really kind of like irk me a little bit, because it's like, okay, we're not there for a long period of time. Again, we touched on this at the beginning. You need to be fluid and dynamic with your ability to post content. When the guys are in Brazil, we want to see what they're doing. We want to see what the updates are. And it feels like we're not getting that. Whenever a player is not on pros and we don't have like the ability to see them there, it's like, okay, well, when are we going to see more? We're going to get a voice comm, I'm assuming, later this week. But like, what about vlog content, solo queue, like anything? Like, where is all of this stuff to try and like keep ourselves in the conversation and keep it going? Are we interacting with Brazilian fans beyond just like the post thanking, you know, the team that we played? Like what are we doing beyond that? It feels like we're just like nothing's happening. It feels like the only two things that you can count on as a 100 Thieves fan happening this week prior to our match is the rendezvous here, the voice comm, and maybe a vlog today, hopefully. But like, what did we do in those 2 weeks prior to coming to Brazil to help promote this. Like the only YouTube video that's been posted on the channel was the voice comm like 9 days ago. Where's the promotion leading into playoffs? Again, I will keep referring to Optic, but they are the golden standard of like the second a big event is coming or travel's coming. There's a ton of promotion and videos that come out to make sure that people are tuning in, even if they suck. Because by all means, Optic Call of Duty, for LA Thieves fans that watch, no, Optic COD sucks right now. But they're still going to do enough promotion to make sure that people tune in. And I want to see that from us as well. I want to see us step up our content game. And like moments like this where we go to the international stage and nothing is happening right now and it feels like things are quiet, that's when it's a problem. Again, this could age horribly depending on the amount of stuff that gets put out between now and Wednesday and even into Thursday and Friday. But I'm just calling it as I see it right now. We're dropping the ball. But let's get on to the thing that matters most, which is this series versus FlyQuest. Because, dude, first I do want to acknowledge that we are actually like right in the spot of where I wanted us to be. Like in terms of goals for Split 1, our goal was to get to this point and now possibly contend with FlyQuest. So like this is the moment. This is the make or break series to say whether this split was successful or not. And honestly, we could even lose this, and I will still deem the split a success if we are close and able to contest with FlyQuest, and FlyQuest still goes on to win it all. I'm not going to be mad about that just because we faced them in the semis. So, how do we do it? Well, Quid has to keep being Quid in some way, shape, or form. He needs to be that playmaker, that trendsetter, that star getter, the guy that is the X factor every single time that he's on the rift, those melee champions. I mean, even if we need to put him on something range, fine, like the Azir, I don't care. He just needs to pop off. He needs to be better than Quad, because if Quad's better than him, I think it's going to be tough, because Bwipo and Sniper's never gotten the best of Bwipo. Actually, to my knowledge, I don't think we've never beaten like this iteration of FlyQuest in a best of series. I don't know if we've ever beaten him in a best of one, if I'm being honest. I'm trying to think back. I don't think we did. I don't think Sniper's ever beaten Bwipo in a game or series. So we're trying to do something that we've never done here. Like, to make that very clear, we are the underdogs for a reason. We've never beat them. They're just the more experienced team when it comes to these moments. Pulling this off will be an upset, plain and simple. Sniper's got to be the one, I think, to lead the charge on that. Like, it sounds dumb, but like the dude that has never been able to get the better of Bwipo, like, really has to step up, and he's been struggling the split so far. Getting solo killed, being out of position, being a little bit late to fights, but luckily Quid and River are popping off in these moments. Ayla's also stepping up massively, and FBI's playing well, but like Sniper's like the clear, like, okay, bro, like, we need you to level up a little bit. You got a week, let's get past that jet lag. Let's get some of these lane advantages. Let's do what we need to do to make sure that you are not falling drastically behind in CS, experience, and kill differential each and every game against pretty much every top that you play against. Luckily, it's not costing a series at this point, but it's like now we're at the point where it's going to. Like, these are now the top teams. Like, this is going to be a massive difference. On the bot side, I think this is actually going to be a critical moment for Ayla and FBI, because Busio and Masu were considered like the best two bot lane, or like the best bot lane in the league right now, even according to Sven and Vulcan, who are on pros. Like, they even said, like, at this time last year, Yon and Court JJ had it, but now it's clearly Masu Busio. If they can step up and contend and be even, and then put ourselves in a position to win this game, it could go a long way. FBI's been playing incredibly well. He's very consistent. It feels like mistakes are very rarely made. I mean, there was the one like Ezreal E into a fight at base, I think, in like the Team Liquid series, but that was really about it. I can think of that's like massive mistakes. Beyond that, he's just been a rock through and through. Ayla has leveled up massively. I think we can solidly say like top 3, top 4 support in the league without question. Not as many flubs as people remember from last year. Again, want to keep giving him his flowers. And River just seems to be quietly like along for the ride, making the plays that he always does. I think we just have this like insanely high expectation for River, but he just delivers on it most times. So like, that's good. And now we're in a high pressure situation in the most important series that we are going to have all year until we make it to finals, potentially the next day. As long as he keeps delivering, he's fine. So what's our final like pathway here? Well, basically Sniper needs to step up and Quid keeps doing what he's doing. Bot lane continues to be a rock and we're fine. I think this is going to be closer than most people will give it credit for. I think a lot of people are kind of writing off 100 Thieves, being like, no, FlyQuest just is what it is. And by all means, the onus is on us to prove it. But I legitimately do believe if everybody's clicking and on the same page, we can beat FlyQuest 2-1 in this series. It will not be a 2-0. I don't think it'll be any world where we win that's a 2-0. I could see a world where they win and it's 2-0, but not for us. But 2-1 100 Thieves is my prediction. This is a turning point for us. A real moment that could really cement us as like one of the perennial powerhouses in North America, and that all these young players have come to their moment, have started to elevate themselves and peak at the right time when we need them to. But we'll see. I hope you're excited. We're the first match on Saturday, and again, if we win, we will play again on Sunday. I might have a quick like emergency like rendezvous before finals just to talk about the series and kind of connect with everybody a little bit. If we lose, I'm just gonna stick to Wednesday as normal, but I do want to like have a finals preview and like hype up if there is time that will allow it, especially given that the game is at 2 o'clock. So we'll see how everything goes. Thank you for tuning in. Be sure to drop a subscribe down below, drop a like, turn on that bell to turn on notifications so you're notified each and every time that we go live on this channel. And here we go. It's the moment. Can we step up or not? Hopefully we don't drop it like Coco just dropped her toy.